Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pacific Championship Series. 9 teams across the globe have already punched their tickets to Worlds 2021. Today, we're going to send a 10th team forward from the PCS region between Megabank Beyond Gaming and PSG Talon Esports. All the trials and tribulations, all the blood, sweat, and tears, the vindication could come today in this one series. I'm going to be your play-by-play and host today, Clement Chu. With me is Nightstar, and with us throughout the entire split has been our wonderful sponsors of the PCS, China CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chonghua Telecom, and Caliber. Thank you for your support and making everything we do possible. Now we head on into the series that we have all been waiting for. One, a perennial favorite in the PCS, the heavyweight champions in PSG Talon, and the other, an offshot challenger that just emerged this season in Megabank Beyond Gaming.
And Megabank Beyond Gaming, boy, have they grown just from the start of the year into just the end of the spring split, and then even more growth coming in summer here. But you got a tall task ahead of them. PSG Talon, they haven't shied away from pulling the punches, and they had an incredibly strong showing, even with a rough game 2 in their first series. And for the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming, they did drop a game to Machi. So even with all those things considered, PSG Talon, perfect split, but they could just go 0-6 and still not make Worlds.
Oh, that is something that I think a lot of people might be surprised about. You've seen PSG at Worlds, you've seen them at MSI, but we do not have a point system in the PCS. It's whichever 2 teams make finals that go. And because of the way that's seeded, if you drop out here and then you drop out against J Team, then you're actually out. PSG are not guaranteed in by any means whatsoever. That's why they're not showing up on Ligapedia. We're going to be taking a look at the playoffs so far, the bracket. PSG so far still undefeated, 21-0 on the split. Megabank Beyond Gaming, like you mentioned, have dropped a game to Machi, but still a very convincing series win over there. And in the lower bracket, J-Team is also waiting to punch their ticket, taking out the loser potentially to move on to their world slot.
J-Team, they're a team that really fought in that matchup against Machi. So whichever team does get knocked into that lower bracket, while they would hold an advantage by a lot of people's standards, especially from the analysts here coming in from PCS, it's by no means an easy matchup, as J-Team are, of course, really tested, and with so much experience, you can never know in a best-of-5 series.
So those are our 3 teams still in contention to go to Worlds. 2 of them will make it out of the 3. Now I want to move on to this matchup itself, and I want you to lay out for me the foundations of each team and how you think the matchup is going to go. Starting with, of course, PSG Talon. I feel like PSG Talon is probably the most well-known team. This year, the main storyline is the king back from Maple into the LPL. And funnily enough, Sword Art and Karsar are already out. So he's the only one of the Hydra still left of Flash Wolves that can potentially make it. But let's start with them. What is the win conditions? What have we seen from them the entire split? Just going over the rosters first. Hanabi in the top side, River Jungle, Maple in the mid, Unified incoming in bottom.
The key to success for this squad has been the fact that Unified is really just unmatched in that bot lane, which enables a lot of their drafts. Sometimes they end up drafting a whole lot of low damage from the other lanes, but they know that if Unified is on a Aphelios or a Ziggs, he has the power to 1v9, and a lot of that early game engine revolves around Maple and River. Maple, while he's not necessarily the most dominant mid laner in our league, the fact that he's able to rotate faster than any other mid laner just to support River in his endeavors to shut down the other jungler is just so instrumental. And the key to success here for the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming is, how do we protect Huxia, and how can we facilitate him to then get advantages for our side lanes? Because Liang is going to be a key individual member, as sort of shown in the JT or the J-Team series.
Yeah, we went over PSG. Their strengths are the best coordinated mid jungle coming in from Maple and River, and the best late game carry in Unified. But what weapons does Mega Bank Beyond Gaming have on their end?
I mean, part of it comes down to Doggo. He's just such an elite carry as well. Has the power to match someone like Unified in that late game area. You've seen them play out some of these very similar compositions, but the key to success here is around Mawa and Liang, being able to get them strong lanes during this lane phase to then empower Huxia to snowball around those two players. I think is going to be the key to success for Mega Bank Beyond Gaming. Doggo will do well in this bottom lane, but it's really up to these solo lanes to do a lot of the heavy lifting to get advantages in team fights.
Now we're going to take a look at the team stats between these two squads, and I have to say, just right off the bat, it seems like PSG have a lead in every single category, be it from game time to Baron Nashor control to gold lead at 15. It seems pretty dominating, and I have to say, from their record in the spring split, where PSG 6-0'd Beyond Gaming, it also does seem like an uphill battle for Mega Bank.
It's definitely an uphill battle. By no means is this an easy matchup for Mega Bank Beyond Gaming. PSG definitely clear favorites. When I made that remark about PSG going 0-6, while it could happen, it's very, very unlikely to happen. As just the fact that PSG, they just play so well around the mid jungle, and Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, the first couple of times that they did play during this split, one, we had that we had the multi-flank composition with the Ken and Nico in day one, and then in the second game, it was really just all about shutting down Huxia, as he just had a really, really rough game. We'll see how that changes up here in this first draft, as we're straight into it. Bans almost completed, and for PSG, they ban away the Ziggs, they ban away the Camille. The Camille pick, I think, is going to be an important pick here for Liang if he's able to get that into his hands, as it allows him to skirmish and enforce that 1v1. But Renekton should be also a very clear target here in this series as well.
I think these bans are very emblematic to how each team plays. In the spring finals, we saw Beyond Gaming go for 3 games of Tristana and PSG go for 3 games of Kai'Sa. PSG, they are on the tempo path in this matchup specifically. They want to close things out early, while Mega Bank Beyond Gaming looks like they have most of their cards in the late game as per usual. So I think we're seeing the exact same thing develop right here, and I'll be completely honest, it wasn't really close that last finals. PSG seemed to just hold Beyond Gaming on the ground the entire time. They didn't even change their draft. They picked 3 straight games of Kai'Sa and Gnar in the top lane, and that was it. And maybe we're going to get 3 straight games of Aphelios, but Huxia will be picking up that Xin Zhao, and Liang will be going for his signature champion in the Rise right here, while River goes with Olaf, which is also something that I think he is probably most known for throughout the entire split. Thresh still open on the table. You have to assume that's just going to be an insta-lock-in. I think Maple still has plenty of champions to play where he's willing to let the Thresh go in first.
Yep. Yeah, Maple, of course, has just an absolute champion ocean. And into the Rise, we'll have multitude of options in this second phase. Just a matter of what does Mega Bank Beyond Gaming want to strip away here. But anytime you can get Thresh onto Kaiwing, he's just way too good on this champion. For Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, you're looking at probably an 80 carry answer here. So it looks like it's going to be the Ashe pick, which has risen in priority or risen up in the meta, being able to answer the Aphelios in lane, but certainly not exactly a hyper carry Doggo style champion for him to 1v9 in the late game.
Yeah, we have seen Doggo just pivot towards this champion quite a bit, but I think neither of us were really happy with their performance, because Mega Man Beyond Gaming is not really a team that pushes tempo every single opportunity they get. They're much more measured. They play a lot of 1-3-1s or a lot of late game team fights. But against PSG, that is a luxury they do not have. So we are going to get this Ash pick. PSG responding with the Braum, just taking away the double frozen combination right here. Very strong skirmishing potential if you get both of them. And Beyond Gaming going to take away what has been a rising star in this playoffs. We saw Rest use this champion to great effect with the Aphelios comp as well, taking away the Gangplank.
Yeah, and PSG did play 2 games of the Gangplank in their series against J-Team to fairly good success. Just offers so much zone control for the Aphelios to then just open up and be uncontested in these fights. PSG, we'll see if they go ahead, target support one more time, or if they go for something like the Kennen, but it will be the Leona band away, and for Mega Man Beyond Gaming, they have supports available to lock in, or if they want to go for something like Liang's top laner, they could, but preferably they would hold that pick for last. And Scalia Hover is interesting because it would suggest that this Rise pick is a flex pick, and technically with the Jace locked in, you still offer yourself flex potential. And I like this draft coming in from BYG because it offers you strong lanes in the Rise Jace, but it also gives you a lot of range with Rise Jace and Ashe against an Aphelios. So it helps neutralize the power coming in from the Aphelios pick that was prioritized B1, and now for PSG, they're looking to just try and carve out more space for this Aphelios pick. It could just be a Galio pick on top of that, and it's just a lot of AoE low in damage, but again, it's about carving out as much space for this Aphelios pick to free fire, and then the Zazir can also do similar things.
A very safe draft from PSG. It's a very fundamentally sound one. Front to back is the name of the game for them. Even with the Zoe being mixed in there, I don't think it changes much about the way the composition handles. It's just a little bit better in the mid jungle and can also match the poke at this point. Very curious to see what the support pick is because we do have Jace being selected earlier rather than giving counter pick to Liang, which I think is very interesting. What do you want to see here out of the support to make this decision on the red side? Oh, Tom Kench.
It is going to be Tom Kench here. And I mean, Nautilus would have provided a little bit more front line here. You want some sort of disengage power, and the Nautilus can certainly do that in some situations, but it is just so hard to play against an Ornn, Olaf, Zoe, and Thresh as the Nautilus pick, and especially in this bottom lane where you are countered by that pick. It will be very difficult, but Tom Kench doesn't exactly do the job. It does offer you a little bit protection and bit of a stopwatch of sorts for one of your backline carries, but again, there's just so much team fight power coming in from PSG that it will be difficult for the side of BYG to just straight up disengage if the engage does come through.
Yeah, I really agree with you. I feel like for PSG, the game is very simple on how you play it. You just walk forward, make sure you're in formation, and you should be fine in most scenarios. But on the other hand, for Mega Man Beyond Gaming, their drafting sequence was a little bit weird, and I feel like their win conditions are pretty muddied as well. They cannot take a front to back. There's no way that ever works for them. And their only winning point on the map early is probably this top side. Jace Xin Zhao. Even then, it's double AD, so I'm not so sure. It feels like Beyond Gaming have a very... what do you see as their path to victory here?
I think it really just comes down to establishing strong lanes for Huxia to play around here. Make sure he doesn't get really punished in this jungle matchup. 1v1, as River Maple have been really on point in punishing the opposing jungler and picking them off numerous times. But with these setups, it should give him a lot of space to operate, to continue to farm, and also be able to gank. And then when it comes to mid game, it's about that 1-3-1, being able to get Rise and Jace set up in a position where they are able to continue snowballing their advantages, and hopefully by then you just have the extra gold to play and enforce from range. Because if that Orange ult does miss its mark, I would say that they have advantages after that big cooldown's gone.
All right, and here we go on to the Rift. The heavy favorites in PSG Talon making their way towards Worlds, making sure that they actually guarantee and lock in their slots with the win here today. And on the other hand, we have the challengers of Megabank Beyond Gaming. This will be their first international appearance if they do manage to go forward. It'll be a massive upset to boot as well. We're going to be taking a look at the runes here. Double Spellbook on one side, double Phase Rush on the other for Megabank Beyond Gaming. Anything special you see here?
Well, I do see that Liang has opted for the Gathering Storm. So he's ready to go all the way the long game here. And Mawan, he has gone for Scorch. So a bit of a mismatch when it comes to runes. But other than main keystones, nothing too surprising, as of course it is a range versus melee matchup up in the top lane. So you are going to be going unsealed Spellbook, and in this mid lane, Maple also going for Unsealed Spellbook means that he has, of course, the other skirmishing summoners if it comes down to it. The big thing is River going for Flash offers a lot more team fight power, but a little bit less laning power here and just trying to gank.
Yeah, we have seen, I think still most of the time flashes, but we'll see what happens with that in terms of the gank path. Just talking about the junglers both starting in the top lane and heading bot. So there's going to be a lot of action happening here. And we have seen in this lane that sometimes Ashe can get a bit of a lead, use that volley to poke him down, control the range. But for most part, Ashe has been a rather low win rate champion in the PCS. Definitely a sub 50 win rate champion here, as we're going to get a lot of level 1 trades. Doggo walking up, but taking the worst side of that one. Unified getting, I believe, 2 extra auto attacks in that trade.
However, because of really the new 80 carry starts with the longsword 3 potions, it's very difficult to truly bully out the other carry. And we're going to get Hawkshot coming through, gets vision onto River as he did start top side of both of these junglers, and it does look like it's going to be a very good trade here.
Yeah, Maple just staying right outside of tower range there and taking Mawan down fairly low. So the mid jungle seems to be going into the way of PSG early, somewhat to be expected with this Zoe pick. And also just a little bit of house clearing going out of the way. We are playing on patch 11.15, so no crazy Jarvan. Diana is still full power, all that good stuff still in there, still on the LPL patch.
Yeah, and all the priority picks, of course, still going to remain the same from last week here. As so far, so good. Jace doing well in that top lane as expected, has that wave crashed up. It is going to be double scuttle in favor of the Xin, which is fantastic here, or at least it should be. It does look like Olaf is looking to make his way over. We'll see if he actually contests this objective. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he isn't even going to go into the river itself, despite his name. Pretty much pinging out Liang and his priority in lane. He's just going to give that one up. So Husha, right now, even though he's even on CS, he has a lot more camps to take on his side. And did he just... Okay, he didn't take that camp. I thought it was like, well, why is River flashing the emotes right here? But he will get his Krugs. He'll be completely okay. He goes back to farming the jungle. We're getting a bit of a slow match right now, coming in game one. So If you feel like the tempo remains like this throughout most of the early game, who does this favor?
I feel like it's going to favor the side of BYG because they have more resource-heavy champions with the Jace and the Rise champs that do want their items, get more time, have a slower game pace. And over on the flip side, while you do of course have the Ornn scaling, you also have Aphelios. It's just going to benefit a lot more at this point for the 131, as it will allow Megabank Beyond Gaming to get to that 131 points just a little bit faster. But River starting out this dragon here is good news for the side of PSG, as if they're able to snowball and get two early dragons, force that team fight early on around that third dragon, that is a very good spot for them, just because of the fact that they do have more teamfight power with this big teamfight ultimate on the Ornn.
This is such a clear Drake take here. No contest from Beyond Gaming whatsoever. The bottom lane was losing in priority, and we had Maple coming in with much later TP and hence much better items onto the field. Megabank Beyond Gaming are just going to lick their wounds. They're not even going to try and venture out here. So, like you said, like PSG are on track to force those team fights where they have the clear front-to-back advantage. But now Husha might be looking for a gank as Doggo takes the hook, nearly goes down, but there is a double knock-up here. The shield goes in. Husha just trying to pick his targets. Actually misses out on the abilities. Unified holding on to his flash very, very late, and he's gonna manage to get out on one sliver of health. River might be going down. No, he turns around and gets the kill, and they miss the skill shots on the other side. Megabank Beyond Gaming go into complete disaster. It's a 3-for-0 at 6 minutes into the game. Oh my god, Megabank, they had so many chances to kill Unified, but they missed way too many skill shots in that one.
That was a difficult one to watch, Clement. It's very hard to get excited about that play when it definitely was in favor of Megabank Beyond Gaming. Doggo plays this perfectly, it takes maximum amount of damage and then uses a cleanse to get rid of that slow. But then this is where the problem comes in after that. You see Husha, he misses the wind become lightning. You see the flash forward, they don't find the CC chain, and it's just all over the place. Doggo even flashes forward to try and get retribution, but he's unable to finish the kill, and everything goes wrong, and you can't really say anything besides just the game one playoff nerves. They know they have a bit backs against the wall.
Now in the top
Liang,
side,
he's just...
Highwing gets the supportal combat kill over the wall. River does still find a piece of that, and things are falling apart rather quickly here. It's 5-0 in PSG's favor already. Someone also died during the replay there. I will say at least the distribution looks really pretty on BYG's side. One death for everyone.
Super neat and tidy in that regard, but not a good look to start out this series. Gotta think, as far as the mental game, where it's at, but at least they're going to dive bot.
Yeah, Unify still running away from the Ash Arrow. He's going to be completely fine here as Kaiwing does go down. It's going to be a trade of sides. Herald for Megabank Beyond Gaming, and the extra gold for Doggo here. So we'll see how many plates they can actually take. Maple's also on the move towards the bottom side here, so it's not always going to be that easy. We're going to watch this top side again. Hanabi starting to trade, just doing some easy trades here. And Kaiwing coming from the bottom lane. The trademark PSG play of support roaming.
Yeah, and this is just how PSG have just constantly won a lot of these games. It's just through the sheer force of playing around Maple being able to rotate faster, and also just Kaiwing knowing timings just that much better over pretty much every single support in this league. He's just been uncontested when it comes to just playing the map. And BYG, at the very least, they were able to get one back in that bottom side, and they were able to kill Kaiwing. But it doesn't change a lot of this gold differential, which is at 1,500 gold at before 10 minutes is kind of a lot.
I'd have to agree with you there. They get on the board, but their head is still below water. That's for sure. And the ship, they need to put a lot more effort into it. You were talking about Megabank Beyond Gaming going into the 1-3-1, which is usually a much more later game strategy here. We'll see if they ever get to that point. But for now, PSG looks like they're setting up a fork for that Drake stack. Going into the mid lane to see if Liang can escape here. The Realm Warp is already down, but he takes a sleepy trouble bubble right in front of Kai Wing, and he's got nowhere to go. Another kill going over towards the side of River, and PSG are going to continue to snowball this momentum. Not turning for the Drake just yet. Going to steal away a couple more camps first.
They get the kill into the mid lane and immediately turn to strip away camps away from Hushan. This is exactly how they like to punish. You have a transition, and he kind of kills into just more jungle pressure, and choking out Husha in this series will be important. And on the flip side, it will be Husha to secure this dragon, and this is actually a massive play for the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming if they're able to secure this one, as it doesn't look like jungler will be interested in trying to contest that, because it buys them an extra 5 minutes for the soul laners to get scaling. And this is really just name of the game at the moment, even though they've thrown effort into that bot side, but now top lane in trouble once again.
River paying another visit to the top side. Liang still has the flash, so he probably will not fall just 1v1 in the undertow. A very angry emote coming out from River after missing this one.
Can they kill Hanabi?
Play. Yeah, Hanabi 1v3. They're trying to take it outside of River range, but he queues right back in. Actually, Ease, excuse me. And now he's just going to take down Husha. Hanabi not even dying in the trade. Very well played on his part. Oh, Doggo needs a flash out of tower. The tank is just killing the entire team. It takes 4 people to take him down. A lot more expended here on the bottom side. And Hanabi is the weak side hero.
Hanabi ends up dying at the very end, but you look at the cost trade analysis. It's that meme where they give you one thing, but they literally take everything else. And that's exactly what happens. Yes, you lose Hanabi in that bottom lane, but look at what is happening. Husha is just dead, and now Kino in trouble.
That was 2 towers and a kill traded back for a kill in the tower. So overall, PSG about 1 full tower and 2 extra plates up in that trade. You can tell in the gold lead. 12 minutes into the game, they're already up 4,000 gold at this point, with the majority of it concentrated on the mid jungle and AD carry. So the gold distribution is great. The weak side is great. The strong side is winning on the map. I'm not sure what Megabank Beyond Gaming can do at this point. It seems that they don't have a fighting chance right now whatsoever. And you can tell from the emotes, Doggo, he's probably begging for mercy, flashing the kinship. It's like, hey, I subbed in for you guys at MSI. Show us some mercy, please.
Yeah, as we get to see the replay of what happened up in that top side, it ends up being this Husha decided to hang out around his tower, but against the Rift Herald charge, that tower doesn't really exist. But Hanabi's got a long ways to go.
It is chase down Hanabi round 2. Let's see if they get a little bit extra luck this time. The Devourer will be used early. Hanabi just trying to keep himself alive as long as possible. Gets the triple knockup on the Searing charge, but that's not going to be enough. On the flip side, though, River will
also
chase him down. Liang has to flash away, but there is this red buff and undertow, but ooh, not in range for the auto attack. River cannot find the slow. Liang manages to walk out.
Yeah, River probably thought he was going to be able to get that auto attack off, and therefore he didn't need to go pick up that axe once more, but unfortunately unable to get into range. Just a little bit more move speed on the Arise to get out of dodge there, and they salvage that play up top side, and they do manage to take down Hanabi in that bottom side. So Still a lot of effort expended to try and secure these kills from BYG, but at the very least, you see them, well, even though they flubbed a massive early game play, they're still willing to call these plays up, even though you would think that the mental possibly was shattered just minute 4.
Yeah, you know, if we're looking at this roster, is for Megabank Beyond Gaming, the only 2 players with international experience is Liang and Doggo. And Doggo just got his this year, so I think it's perhaps forgivable that Megabank are going to show some jitters earlier on. A number of mechanical outplays coming in from PSG already. They've been here, they've already done all this. They've seen a lot, and Doggo getting caught just with the cleanse. Kaiwing cannot miss today. Absolutely disgusting thresh play coming out from this support.
Yeah, Kaiwing on his trademark champion, doing an absolute number. And for Megabank Beyond Gaming, it's all of a sudden, well, don't have a whole lot of lanes to play around at the moment because PSG is just so much faster at rotating around the map, and this is one of the issues when it comes to playing 1-3-1 against PSG, is that they are so good at generating picks along the side. If you ever get a little bit too lackadaisical with your warding in to try and protect your solo laners, they will immediately get punished, as they will try and overload bot side, and thankfully Liang did already evacuate the premise.
PSG will also take a tower in the meantime. This is all being traded for Beyond Gaming getting the top side tower for this rise. You know, this is something that PSG does quite a bit. They always take the preferable trades. We saw them give over a Drake, but completely take down the top lane tower. They were so far ahead in tempo, forced terrible plays from Megabank Beyond Gaming. And this is what you have to understand about PSG. A lot of times when they're not taking the trades right in front of them, it's because they want to further snowball their momentum. They always kick the can forward. They always make sure that they're 2 steps ahead of the play. And sometimes that just means that they're not going to immediately cash in on the play in front of them. They're still in a dominating lead right here. A potential cash by Doggo as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is popped down, but Unified holds his ground perfectly. He did not lose over 100 HP in that. So he was like, I don't know what you're trying, but I'm not going away.
Yeah, it was really just kind of a bit of a bluff there coming in from Doggo, hoping that he'd be able to burn some summoners at the very least and set up for a future pick onto Unified, but Unified doesn't blink, and what do you know, there is no support behind Doggo to follow up on that catch. And one of the big things that we saw from Megabank Beyond Gaming when they first played this Ashe was how unwilling they were on using that Ashe ultimate to just constantly force picks. This time around, hopefully we get to see a little bit more willingness. But at this moment, 18 minutes into the game, this is kind of a good time to take stock of items. Hanabi in a really good position. Level 12 almost has those upgrades coming through, and has, of course, the Frozen Gauntlet, which is going to give a lot of value given how much AD is loaded onto that Megabank Beyond roster.
That's a great thing to point out right here. He's going for 2 items directly in the armor department, and the only AP damage coming out from Beyond Gaming is that Rise, and he's going for Everfrost plus tier. So it's going to be a very, very long time until someone can actually kill Hanabi. This weak side is completely untouchable. Like, we saw Megabank just send Jace plus the Tahm Kench to the bot side. I was looking at that, I'm like, I'm not sure you can do anything with that. That's not going to kill Hanabi, especially not under his own tower here.
Yeah, it's slowly but surely, maybe you whittle him down, but not while he still has a tower up available. And for the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming, the key to success here is just going to be keeping track of where Liang and Baoan are in their builds. Once Liang has that upgrade in Muramana, it gives them a slight opening, but you're waiting for that 3rd item. Kino.
Ooh, there's no tier 2 tower, but no crowd control to stop him on the other side. Gravitum not available there. And we are going to continue to see Liang farm up a Storm. He does have a pretty decent gold lead here. However, he needs to actually win against Hanabi to make it worthwhile. Again, we have Megabank Beyond Gaming sending a 2-man squad against Hanabi. This seems to be the only play in their book right now. But Hanabi's just not leaving his tower. He's just sitting there, and he's holding strong like a rock.
And he's very comfortable at this moment. And this next dragon in a minute 30 should go into the hands of PSG as Megabank Beyond Gaming. They won't have the Serelda's Grudge completed by that time. And that's going to be the big ticket item here for the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming, having that extra utility come out, but more importantly, the extra shred and armor penetration. That's going to be key. And for Malan, it's about getting his second item here. I'm not sure what the second item is. He does have tier almost fully stacked up, but it does look like he's looking more so for the Zanya's play, as he does have stopwatch and he also has the Fiendish Codex. So that'll be key to watch. But with those two items, Malan isn't exactly online to carry these team fights. It's once he gets that third item that his damage really starts to take off.
Yeah, Rise is still much more of a late game investment right now than an immediate threat. We do have the first Ornn upgraded items coming through. Frostfire Gauntlet being completed there. And taking a look at the board, the Collector already done for Unified. At this stage in the game, the extra armor penetration, the lethality, the execute, it's extremely deadly at this point in the game. And it doesn't seem like Megabank Beyond Gaming had any vision even close to this Drake. Not anything beyond their own blue buff at this point.
Yeah, and that's to be expected with how PSG are playing at the moment. They are able to get forward vision here. They should be able to secure this dragon pretty easily. And for Megabank Beyond Gaming, it's all about getting that third item. That's what the game plan is here. Make sure you get Serelda's Grudge. Make sure you get that Archangel's Staff here. Once you obtain those, that'll be your clear fight window. However, then you really only have one chance, one opportunity to get back into this game, and that will be Dragon in 5 minutes, of course.
And I do want to reiterate why the game plan is 3 items for Malan. That's because he's the only source of AP damage on this team. Like, nobody else can actually even touch Hanabi at this point. We do finally have the Last Whisper coming out for Liang, so he's going to be doing a little bit to the front line at the very least. But PSG, at this game state, looking at the Infernal Soul timer, Malan is not going to be online. It is impossible for him to even scratch it. And I have to ask, what are the options left open for Megabank when PSG are straight up forcing these team fights? They're not going to wait for the 3 items to come. They're just going to make Beyond Gaming come into their own comp. And Beyond Gaming, they don't have pick, they don't have front to back. All of it has to go onto Husha. He still has his flash. He has vision over the wall. Let's see if he can actually make the steal. 1 tower taken in the bot side. This will be a 50-50, but River secures it in the end, and the team fight is on. Kino gets slowed down by the undertow. We're chasing in. The hook over the wall still lands. Kino cannot believe it. He's going to go down right afterwards. TP in from Liang. Let's see if they can find anything. Maple goes in.
Drowsy?
Very risky, but he still comes back out immediately and even baits Beyond Gaming overstay. They find the kill onto Husha. 2 kills plus the Baron. The game is wide open.
Yeah, and that's such a massive play coming in from PSG, knowing, hey, Megabank Beyond Gaming, they want to wait for that third item. So what's the play that we can make right now? Well, they're just going to concede so much of the map to us. We might as well just make our way over to that Baron buff. And that's exactly what happens, given the fact that the River just has so much HP built up. He's able to tank the Baron really, really nicely. And then right after, I mean, the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming, there was really no plan to fight. It was all about just, hey, let's see if we can make a steal happen. If we get a steal, that's great, but we're not really looking to fully commit to a fight, and they end up being really tentative in this disengage, and as a result, they lose a bonus Xin Zhao at the very end.
Yeah, that was definitely hard to swallow. You could see Kino there in disbelief that he gets handed a death sentence blind over the wall by Kaiwing. Kaiwing, I think he's already locked in the MVP for this game. It's been utterly ridiculous. On the flip side, I'm also a little bit surprised that Husha didn't try to flash down and contest that Baron. At this point in time, like, you know, Smite is no longer tied down to levels. I felt like that was their only play, and Doggo gets hooked again, burning his cleanse to make himself very vulnerable to the sleepy trouble bubbles being rained down here by Maple. The siege is now on. Liang doesn't find the target on the Maple, and the bot lane tower is about to drop. This last cannon gonna go down. This minion wave completely unopposed. Mega Man Beyond Gaming looks like they have to give this one up. Doggo cannot walk up. Husha still has his flash, but he's going low. And PSG are gonna continue. They're not even backing.
Yeah, and it just comes down to how much of the base can they protect here, if they can protect the base at all. And for PSG, if they see an opening for a big Ornn ultimate, they could very well just end the game straight up here.
See if they do find that ultimate that you were talking about. Last time Unified's Graviton hit 3 people, and he finally has the guns right now, swapping over. He still has full ammo on that one. Doesn't have to worry, flashes back. Husha coming in for the backline, but doesn't find Unified. Unified still full HP. They're taking down the front line. Maoan's low already. In comes the Moonlight Vigil, taking down another 2. Liang is dead. GG's come out. The crying Amumu is left. PSG take game 1 down in less than 27 minutes.
An absolute clinical game coming out from PSG. Yes, it was facilitated by the early blunder coming in from BYG, but nonetheless, PSG take advantage of the situation and absolutely steamroll their way to a 1-0 victory.
I don't know if you're familiar with the term Butterfingers, but it definitely felt like that from Husha in game 1. He was in melee range of Unified, but he missed the W. The slow whiffs completely. He doesn't find the 3-talon strike. And somehow Unified gets to walk out of the first gank, and they lose 4 kills right off the bat. Honestly, like, I see a lot of worlds where Beyond Gaming, if that first fight just gone a lot better, or gone just even equal, I think they would have had a much better start to the game.
Yeah, like, that play, more often than not, goes in favor of BYG. It's really just the one instance out of perhaps 10 or even 20 times that it fails that spectacularly. And that's exactly what happens there. And because of that, you can just see it in the play that they ended up becoming a little bit over desperate to try and overcompensate, and that led to very, very disastrous results as they tried to make plays onto Hanabi. But because of kind of the jungle top matchup, he's able to stack armor, which makes him incredibly difficult to dive, and he's able to trade back in a lot of these situations. It was just a lot of things went wrong early that prevented them to claw their way back in the mid game.
I don't think I ever want to see 4 AD mainly champions try to dive an Ornn with Frostfire Gauntlet, with Warden's Mail, and with the Ninja Tabbies, or whatever it's called right now, which is, oh, that was rough to see here. And let's be honest, this is kind of what we expected from PSG. Last time in spring when they played in the postseason, the first series they played against Megabank Beyond Gaming, they styled on them. It went 3-0, and they played 15 different champions. And in the finals, they said, okay, we're going to put the shenanigans away. They played the same comp 3 times in a row, and Beyond Gaming could not buckle them. I feel like if I'm PSG, I'm happy to just draft like this over and over again. And the question really is, what is the answer from Megabank Beyond Gaming?
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really tough loss here for Megabank Beyond Gaming because of the fact that, hey, this game came down to the play at 3-4 minutes into the game. After that, it actually didn't matter a whole lot because of how much was just given to PSG from that point on. And as the coaching staff, like, you also kind of understand that while this draft was relatively solid, you didn't get a chance to play it out, and it's also just hard to go back to this draft because of perhaps a little bit of PTSD coming in from that moment there. And it really just comes down to, how does Huxia feel about this game moving forward, because the confidence has to have taken a hit, as we will see the MVP, and it is going to be, of course, this Thresh, which rarely missed a hook.
Sitting in here from Kai Wing, he's hooking himself a ticket to Worlds and bringing the rest of the squad alongside him with the Dark Passage. An absolutely terrific performance from him. This is why we see Thresh basically be permabanned. It's actually the most banned champion against PSG because he can roam around the map with it. It's got perfect single target CC, and it really accentuates PSG's ability to play these tempo games. That's going to be all for game one here. Honestly, you have any closing comments for game two for Beyond Gaming? What can they do? Just one sentence.
Control R.